All right, we are recording. I'm so excited for this Zoom tonight, you guys. You're going to hear from four amazing ladies that accomplished so much in such a short period of time. I'm so inspired by their stories. And so we're just going to jump right into it. And, it's so crazy. I started this Zoom series. I just asked a few of the, VIP leaders if they would be open to sharing what they accomplished. And you guys, there are so many success stories. Like, this is now our fourth Zoom series with all of these successful stories of what can happen in this amount of time in the first 90 days of the year. And it's just so inspiring. So I hope that you guys, really this lays a level of belief in you guys that anything is possible if you're willing to dream big and put in the work. Anything can happen. So I'm so pumped. I'm going to bring on Nicole. I just muted everybody so nobody can do it. So let me find her so I can unmute her real quick. There she is. Okay, Nicole, are you here?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, girl? I'm so excited to hear your story. One of the things that I remember hearing from your story is just what you accomplished to begin with, but also how crazy busy your life was when you first started this business. So just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then I know I gave you some questions I'd love for you to go over too.
Sure. So I'm Nicole Manzoli Hassinger. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a presidential diamond, and I've been in the business for 4 years now. I joined October 2015, I think, something like that. And I had a slower start. So when I first joined, the person that signed me up actually left the business. She, I don't know, decided it wasn't for her, whatever it was. And I was left kind of high and dry, to be honest. I had no idea what I was doing. I would literally copy and paste scripts from our website and send it with like the little trademark symbol. Like, it was just bad. So I just want you all to realize that if you are on here and you don't have someone who personally enrolled you that is thriving, just know that you can do anything, because at the end of the day, the success is up to you. And there are so many YouTube videos and so much information on the internet that you can find out. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Connecticut. I now live in South Carolina. I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Because of this business, I was able to move here. But I really want to focus on what happened in these couple of months that we have right now. So when I joined, I was a dental hygiene student. I wanted $300 a month. That was my goal. And I was like, if I could get $300 a month, I will be able to pay for gas and maybe get my nails done. And in my first 2 months, even without an upline, I made $500. So I made about $250 each month. And I was like, lit, like, this is cool. I'm making money from my phone. And then I kind of started connecting with people around me. So that's a huge tip I can give to you guys. Connect with leaders or just anyone in the business that's local to you. I started hanging out with Cassie Westland, Nyara, Emily, Lindsay, Sasha. We would all just hang out. And that's when I really caught the vision. I graduated hygiene school, and I was working through hygiene school at a bank. So when I got into hygiene school, they told me, you cannot have a job. You'll never pass if you have a job. So I had a job, was hygiene school, and was doing this. So I was like, don't believe me, just watch, pretty much. I passed hygiene school, but I failed my boards. So I was working at the bank, and I was like, all right, this is my time. I have to pick it up with It Works. I have to make more money, because, working 2 days a week at the bank isn't going to cut it. And that's when I really caught the vision. I went diamond, and then I passed my boards, and I was working full-time dental hygiene in an office. And then the school that I went to, I was always a teacher's pet. So the school that I went to called me back to teach. So I was working 40 hours dental hygiene and 15 hours working at a college teaching clinical dental hygiene. So that was 55 hours a week that I was gloved up in mouths. Like, that wasn't like I could run to my phone and check my messages and stuff. I was gloved up and I was working, and there was no possible way to be on my phone. So it was 55 hours a week that I was out, plus driving. as a diamond, was able to cut back 1 day of work, and I still went between the months, what was it? February, I went double diamond. We're talking a few years ago, but February, I went double diamond. And 2 months later, February, March, April, in April, I went triple diamond. I was in top 150 income earners working full-time, dental hygiene. I was still working about 32 hours a week dental hygiene and my 15 hours a week teaching. And it was just incredible. So this is, I can't even stress to you guys what a powerful time of the year you are in right now. These next couple of months are, I'm a firm believer is there's no such thing as a boom season. I think if you're booming, there's always a boom season, because there's never a time. Yes, New Year's resolutions are here, but there's never a time that people don't want to be healthier. Am I right? Like, of course, right now they're like really wanting to be healthy, but still in the summer, there's never a time that being healthy goes out of style. However, right now is just craziness. Like, everyone has their New Year's resolutions, and this time of the year is literally the time your business could skyrocket if you put in the time and effort. So, going from double to triple in 2 months completely changed our lives. I was able to cut back more at work. I was still working between my teaching and practicing. I was still working full time. But we were able to do so many things. We sold our house in Connecticut. We went full time doing it work. So me and my husband worked full time. We moved down here and bought our dream house down here. But I have a timer going, so I'm not going to go over. But a big, big part of my story, which because of these months, because I put in massive action during these months, I was able to, so if you guys don't know who I am or know my story, my dad got really sick. We found out he had stage 4 cancer, and he passed away 6 months after that. And he was so healthy, like you would have never known. I always tell everyone, the day exactly to a year, the day that my dad passed away, he was doing a keg stand at a party at Emily Worsing's house. And we were having a big party, and it was so much fun. And my dad was doing keg stands. And then 5 months later, we found out he had stage 4 cancer, and he passed away 6 months after that. And because of this business, because of the massive action I put in now, I was able to spend, I'm telling you guys, I was able to spend more time with him living 15 hours away from him than I would have if I lived in the same town as him and I was working my full-time job. Because of this, I was able to travel. I went there for 6 months and rented a condo and just got to hang out with my dad. So this business and these few months have impacted my life so much because I was able to spend all the time that I can with my dad. But I want to talk a little bit about sacrifices, and I apologize if you guys weren't partiers, but I was a partier in school, and even if you weren't, you can understand this concept that I'm going to say. So when I was in hygiene school, we would have 8 a.m.s, and I commuted. So hold on. And I commuted. So it was a 40-minute drive. I would leave my house at 7 to get to my 8 a.m. I would have class all day. I would have a 1 hour break. We'd have to drive, and then we'd have clinicals. And hygiene school was so demanding. But I always found time to go out to the bar with my friends. Always. It did not matter how much class sucked, how much clinical sucked, how much anything. I always found time to go out with my friends. So I would go to clinicals class all day, go to clinicals. I'd fly home. I'd jump in the shower, and you better bet your ass I was at the bar with my friends 1 hour later. And I would sacrifice so much sleep to go to the bar with my friends. I would literally be so tired from class. I'd go to the bar. I'd stay out all night. I'd sleep 4 hours, and then I'd get up and I'd do it all again. Why are we willing to sacrifice so much sleep to have fun with our friends, but not willing to sacrifice it for this business, for your dreams, for your goals, whatever it is? Why? Why are we willing to sacrifice for different kinds of things? I went to Vegas for a bachelorette party. You guys probably think I'm an insane partier, and I'm not. But I went to Vegas for a bachelorette party. We literally slept for 5 hours the whole entire trip. And that really put it into perspective. I could, I'm not saying don't not get your sleep, but you guys, you sacrifice for so many things. Sacrifice for this. Because now, being where I am now, when I'm tired, I get to sleep. When I'm run down, I get to sleep. When I own my own time, and I could never go to my dental hygiene job and then be like, I'm sorry, Neil, I'm a little tired this morning. We're going to have to cancel my 8 a.m. You know, I'll cancel my 9 a.m. while I'm at it. Like that wouldn't work. They would laugh at me. So sacrifice, just make small sacrifice. Everyone asks me, how did you get in top 150 when you were working? My top tips to you are to sacrifice little bits of time throughout your day. And I have 2 tips to end this with. Wake up 15 minutes early, go to bed 15 minutes later. On your lunch break, when you really want to hang out with your friends and like gossip, like when I wanted to hang out with all the girls that I worked with, I would spend 15 minutes with them and the rest of it in my car. I'm not saying don't have your life and don't have fun. You know, I still did my thing with my girls, but then I stepped aside and I put time into my business. And now, because of those small 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, I was able to own my own time. If you're watching this and you're like, cool, this sounds great, but I could never do this, I want you to dig down and just think about what exactly it is that is holding you back. And most of the time, it's that you, 1, think you don't have the time, 2, don't think you have the look, or 3, don't think you have the look. It's most of the time that when I ask people why they think they can't do this, they're like, I just don't have a bright Instagram like you. My page isn't pretty, all that kind of stuff. I want you guys to realize that I knew nothing about Instagram when I started. I had maybe 300 followers. My page was really dark. I was super negative. And you can do anything you want with a positive mindset and self-development. So literally, I was just like, okay, if this person can do it, then I can do it. If this person can do it, and I just mimicked what the successful people were doing. If you are watching this and you're like, this story is incredible, but it's just never going to happen for me, that is just a self-development mind block that you have up. And that's just something that I want you to know, that you can do it. You just have to grow your mindset, because at the end of the day, if your mindset is not growing, your paycheck is not growing. And it does, like, I remember a lot of people saying to me, well, I don't live by the beach, so I don't have these bright, pretty blue pictures. And I want you all to realize that Cassie, Nay, Emily, Lindsay, we all hit VIP ranks living in Connecticut. And in Connecticut, our oceans look like puddles. It looks like melted snow on the side of the road, like gross. So don't get caught up in the, I have to fit a certain look, because you are you for a reason. And there are people just like you out there that need this opportunity. And you being real is going to take you so much farther than trying to have a perfect Instagram. And I'm not saying don't post like horrible, dark, pitch black pictures. Like, you want it to still look pretty, but do not get caught up in the, I don't look like that and I can't have this success, because I promise you, you can have just as much success as me or any of the other girls that are going to talk. So please work on your self-development, and just know that the boom, I don't really like saying that, but the boom is here. The boom is now. If I could go double to triple with the old charts in 2 months, you can do anything that you put your mind to, literally anything. So just get your mindset right, get off this when it's done, and watch The Secret on Netflix, and that is going to blow your mind, and you are just going to become a super, super positive person. Also, one book that I'm reading, Build to Last. Go read that after you watch The Secret. And I'm going to stop talking now.
Oh my gosh, so many great nuggets there. There's 2 things that like really stood out to me. First of all, is the sacrifices, you guys. Like, when she was talking about how much, I just totally related to that too. How many nights you've gone out and you sacrifice the sleep, then you don't feel good the next morning, you're hungover. Okay, but thinking outside of that, how many of you guys are playing games on your phones? How many of you guys are watching Netflix and sucked into The Bachelor, to the football games, everything that's going on right now? Like, how many of you guys are wasting time just scrolling or all of that? Like, those are all time wasters. And what she's saying, like, those tiny little sacrifices, like, gosh, something Mark said, I think it was on a conference, it was just, sacrificing the good for like the great, for the legendary. It's like making those small little sacrifices is just so incredible. So, and then the other thing that you said, I'm trying to mute you again, but the other thing that you said was, I can't even remember because it was just so good, but I can't remember, but we're just going to jump right over to Jocelyn because I'm like all trying to mute everybody. So let me mute again, and then we will go to Jocelyn, which I'm so excited to hear Jocelyn's story because she was, raise your hand if you guys have been in this business for a while and you like totally stalked Jocelyn's YouTube channel all the time. You got so many tips from her. Like, she's incredible. And I'm just so excited for you guys to hear Jocelyn's story. She's like just one of the ones I've looked up to for so long. And I'm just so happy to hear. So Jocelyn.
Okay, you're just so sweet. I'm literally sitting on the floor at my in-laws' house playing bracelets with Taylin. Taylin, you want to say hi really quick? Say hi. Look, Taylin.
Hi,
Look.
buddy.
You're busy playing bracelets. Okay.
So cute.
So, it's crazy. This is 7 years this year that I've been in the business, which still blows my mind. So, I really love my story because of the fact that I joined when I was 19 years old. I was a single college student when I joined, and I have like grown and evolved from being a single college student working full time to being able to be a newlywed and have to pay for a wedding with this business, and then having the ability to travel with my husband and retire him, and now being a stay-at-home mom with another one on the way, and it's just been so fun. And even now, like, Taylor found his passion for real estate, and so he's basically working full-time. So now I have to do it like be a mom, almost like a single mom through the day on my own, because he has so many, like, he's busy. So, but it's crazy because I've evolved, and so a lot of it has come from the new year. You guys have no idea what you have your hands on right now, and it's so crazy. Uh-oh, did you break it? Let me see that. Thank you. And so the crazy thing that I want to kind of share with you, because I got started in March of 2013, and I didn't know anything about boom seasons or what, and I didn't really do anything with the business at all in 2013. It was towards the end of that I finally, I knew a couple things, that if I started showing up, that I would start going up, and that if I kept it as simple as the steps to success, that I'd make at least $500 every single month. So, January of 2014, I was paid as an executive. My paycheck was $400. I did not have the funds to go to conference that year. And it was like, I really wish I would have known how much of a priority it was, but my upline was new and she didn't prioritize it to me, so I didn't go. I wish I would have gone. I wonder where I could be now if I would have gone to that first conference. So January, didn't get to go to conference that year. And I remember seeing all the people at conference like, haha, suckers for you guys, because you're stuck in this event and you can't work, and I can be home and watch whatever videos you guys post and actually like make money while you guys are in this convention. It was stupid thinking. But I still, from the momentum that comes during this time frame and from working hard, I went from that $400 executive paycheck. February promoted to Ruby and made maybe like $800 or $900. And then March, I promoted to Diamond, and my fiance, which is my husband now, he promoted to Emerald. And so we went from 400 to 3,000 in like 2 months. And then by the end of that year, I was a double diamond and my husband was also a double diamond. So we went from a $400 paycheck in January, ending the year at 10,000 total. And then 2015 is when things got crazy. I remember going to conference for the first time. My husband was not on board, and he did not want to go to conference. Like he was the one that was like, Jocelyn, this is not a reliable source of income. You need to get a real job. And so he didn't want to go to conference, but I knew that if he went, that everything would change. And so the first night we watched the top 100 go across the stage, and I just remember thinking like, dang, I want to be there so stinking bad. So I texted Stephanie, she's my enroller's direct upline. I texted her and I was like, okay, tell me how much money I need to make to get into the top 100. And she's like number 2 at this point. She has no idea. So she gives me a ballpark number to shoot for it. And I was like, crap, like that's going to take me all stinking year and I'll maybe get into the top 90. And so, but I wanted it. And that first night I'm exhausted. I'm like rolling over in bed, almost asleep. And Taylor's like, hey, Jocelyn, I can't sleep. I just want to do this business with you. I want to quit school. I want to quit my job. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And so if your spouse is not on board, that was the number one thing that changed everything for him, was getting to conference. Also getting to comment in your paycheck, taking the 5 love language test, and helping them develop a testimony for the products. But so crazy things that happen. And I want to share the statistic too, because I think you guys will really like this. Stephanie has always told me that it's great when you can go to conference, but you will always win more when you get people on your team to go with you. So that year, it was our first year at conference, but we also had about 8 girls on our team with us there at conference, okay? And in the next couple months, so January I was paid as double diamond. February I went triple diamond. March I went presidential diamond, and my husband went triple diamond. So we went from a double diamond, we went from a $10,000 paycheck combined in January. February combined was 26. Insert income disclosure statement here, guys. And then March, when we promoted presidential and triple, we were averaging more than an ambassador, like crazy. And so, but here's the cool thing. Those 8 people that went to conference with us, every single one of them, except for one that ended up quitting, the rest of them all promoted to diamond and double diamond within those 60 days after conference, all of them. And it was just so crazy to see. The year after that, so that was 2015, okay? The year after that, 2016, we were presidential at this point, our team. We promoted to ambassador in that 90-day period. And the month, and you guys have no idea how quickly things can change, because I know sometimes when you're pushing for a rank, if you're like, man, like I'm 3,000 away from diamond this month, I don't know if I can do it. Yes, you can. The month that I went diamond, the month before, my volume ended at like 185,000. And I remember thinking, like, there is no flipping way that we're going to get $70,000 in 1 month. Like, there's no flipping way. And so I remember getting coached. The best advice I have for you is to plug into people that have done what you want to do. Okay. So Sherry Lynn Alcala, you guys know who she is, I'm sure. She promoted to ambassador the month before I did. And I was like, okay, Sherry Lynn, you just promoted to ambassador. I don't know if I can do this. My volume ended at 185,000. She's like, that's what my volume was in January, and I promoted in February. So then I was like, oh, you just did what I'd want to do? Okay, I can do it. And so hearing that from her, you guys, Sherry Lynn's she's amazing, but she's no one special. Heavenly Father doesn't love her any more than he loves me. He loves everyone the same. And so I knew that if I was willing to put in the work, that it was going to happen. And so not only did we promote to ambassador that next month and get that 70,000, but we ended the month just short of $300,000 in sales. So we had over $100,000 jump in 1 month. So if you think that 3,000 or that 10,000 for your triple or whatever is far, you can do it. And then of course, it's just been so cool since promoting to ambassador to see the crazy momentum that always comes in those first 90 days, like crazy pay increases, you guys, crazy. Some of the sacrifices is you need to take an honest look at yourself and look at your time. And I'll never forget sitting in the car one time telling Taylor like that I had all these ideas of like, I bet if I did this and this and this for my business, that things would just explode, but I just don't have the time. And I remember getting so frustrated thinking like, how am I going to fit all of the stuff that I want to do when I don't have this time? And he's like, Jocelyn, you have the time. And I was like, but no, like I'm so busy already. And I was so frustrated with him when he showed me this, because it was just one of those like, shoot, he was right and I was wrong moments. But he's like, okay, what time do you wake up? And he literally took out a pen and a paper and he wrote down the time. And then he's like, okay, so what are you doing for that first 15 minutes after you get out of bed? And I was like, I don't know. And then he's like, well, what about the next 15 minutes? minutes? What about the next 15 minutes? How long does it take you to eat breakfast? It doesn't take you 30 minutes. And then same thing. He's like, okay, here's a 15-minute spot for your shower, but now you have time to do that. And so if you find yourself feeling like that you don't have time, take an honest look at your schedule. Like literally write down the time you wake up and the time that you go to bed. Put those things that you absolutely have to get done. Because I know as moms, as students, as people that still work we have responsibilities. Like we have other things and obligations that we have to get done. But if you write down your schedule in those 15-minute intervals, all of a sudden you're going to find time to post. All of a sudden with those 15 minutes, you can get 20 messages for host to post out. And you'll take a look at your day. And even though you are busy, you're going to find most of your day is wasted on who knows what. And so when I first did that, more than anything, it's kind of an embarrassment because you're like, man, I thought I was busy, but I'm not. And then all of a sudden this time just opens up. And then realizing that if you just take a look at your priorities and decide, okay, do I really prioritize this game or this Netflix show? You don't need the wipes or whatever. Or do I wish I could be sitting on the beach next year with my husband sipping pina coladas? Like, you've got to have that perspective. And I'll never forget this quote, and then I'll end it on this. Well, two things. So the first thing, I hope you got this when I was talking about Sherry Lynn. Heavenly Father does not love anyone else less than somebody that's successful. So don't think that he won't bless you with the same amount of success, because he truly does love you and want to bless you with the most incredible life. Ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. But you have to knock. You have to take the action. You have to ask. And if you don't, the answer is no. But if you put forth that faith and then take the action, he will bless you. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, I will never forget when somebody kind of says, you can choose to play now and work later, or you can work now and I just butchered that already. You can choose to pay now and play later, or pay now and play late. I just said that twice. Hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. But if you choose to do the playing now and the messing around now, the price of the work that you have to do later to make up for it is always more than if you just decided to put in the work to pay now because you'll get a play later. So much more. I just butchered that, but I hope you got the point. That's what I wanted to share.
Oh gosh, that was so good. That was so good, Jocelyn. Thank you so much for sharing your story. That was just amazing. Like, so many good nuggets, you guys. Like, my mind is just blown. And like, one thing I wanted to share with you guys is just, like, dreaming bigger. Like, I hope hearing these ladies' stories, like Jocelyn was saying, like, I hope that it like lays that groundwork of belief that, like, if Nicole can do it, if Jocelyn can do it, like, there's no reason why you can't. There's no reason. And so, like, one of my favorite quotes in the whole world is, it says, like, you need to dream so big that you have to grow into the person that can accomplish it. And I feel like that's why you're going to probably keep on hearing repetitively through, like, every Zoom that you listen to in your life, that personal development is just the key to success in this business. It's the key to success and happiness in life. And it's just one of the things that, if you are setting goals, if you've set goals for 2020 and you're looking at your goals and you're like, yeah, I'd love for that to happen, or like, their stories are so amazing and so inspiring, I'd love for that to happen for me. But in the back of your mind, you're constantly thinking, like, but if it doesn't work out, I could do this. Or if it doesn't work out, like, this could be another option. Like, you can't have that as an option. You can't have like a plan B. If you make this business your plan A, you put forth the effort, you keep feeding yourself with, the positive thoughts, you keep feeding yourself with personal development, and keep growing your belief in yourself, and you're willing to put in the work, all of your goals and dreams will, yes, Natalie, you got to burn the boats. I love that saying. Okay, so Now I'm going to shut up and we're going to jump over to Lauren Ravan. I'm so excited. I love this girl. Lauren, are you there? You should be able to unmute yourself. I changed the settings.
Hi,
Hey, girl.
how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm so excited for everybody just to hear your nuggets and your story and everything. So take it away.
Yeah, I'm so excited too. And hasn't this not been just amazing so far? I've taken so many notes. And you guys, what I hope that you're going to get from this, because it's been reinforced with me, as I looked at what I wanted to share with you guys, so much of it aligns with the two leaders that I've already shared with you. So copy the right cats. Like there's a method to the madness here. Okay. So I will celebrate my 3rd year in the business this March. And the reason why I'm going to tell you the beginning of my story so much is because it's relevant to the season that you're in right now. My first 90 days with the business, man, it was like a flash, you guys. I went diamond in 39 days. The following month, my account promoted to double diamond and my husband's account to diamond. Let me tell you a little bit about our life before it works. I was not a girl who watched. I didn't watch the videos and stalk the posts and the pages. I was the girl who blocked and unfriended people like us. I would not even tolerate it. Was not open to learn. Was not even open to ask questions. But we were struggling. We were struggling in the worst way, not just living paycheck to paycheck, but beyond that, we were living on credit cards. I had left my full-time job. I had 10 years in retail management. We left that to open group fitness studios. We put our whole life savings into that. We opened 2 locations. Within the first year, I got really, really sick. I couldn't teach fitness classes anymore, but we still had all this overhead cost of running those businesses. Okay. You can't start any other business in the world for $99, y'all. You can't do it. I knew I didn't want to go back and work retail. I'd already missed so much of my daughter's life. So one day when my husband was at work, I decided I was going to watch a YouTube video and learn how to bake. I was going to figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. We ran a very successful, on the surface, home-based bakery for almost 3 years. And I worked, this is not an exaggeration, on average about 80 hours a week. I worked 32 hours straight every single Friday through Saturday. And I worked overnights on those nights because, kind of like Nicole said, she would be gloved up. When I was working as a baker, you guys, when you're decorating a cake or cookies, you can't hold a phone, y'all. I was fully engaged and was working those hours. And although I could hire assistants who could do the work in regards to recipes and baking, I was the only one who could do the final details of decorating and things like that. And the more I could produce, the more money we could make, and it still wasn't enough. So we had come to a part, we were about to get our income tax return, right? Some of y'all are already waiting on yours, yes. And I had heard through the grapevine of a trusted friend that they had tried an It Works cleanse, which I didn't even know we had, remember, because I blocked and unfriended, that it was legit. And I thought, okay, well, I used to work for this girl who now does this crazy stuff. I'm going to unblock her and I'm going to message her and ask her some questions. And I did. And you guys, even with the loyal customer discount, I could have afforded that $36 in that moment, that one time, but I wasn't so sure about the next 2 months. Anybody ever lose anybody when we explain the loyal customer program? They ghost us, right? And that's what I was going to do. I was going to ghost her. But she came back and she asked a question that changed my life. And everybody write this down, because if you don't start asking this to people who ghost you, you could be robbing them of a significant blessing in their life. But she said, hey, Lauren, I just wanted to be sure. Did you want to try this cleanse and get 40% off and have some great results? Or did you want to try this cleanse and get 40% off and have some great results and make some extra money? And it was like the clouds and the heavens and everything parted. I didn't ask any questions. I don't know what type of personality you guys are, but I'm a red. And she said, make money. And anybody outside of our 4 walls had no idea how bad our family was struggling. No one knew we were living beyond credit card to credit card. No one knew that we were fighting about money every single day. No one knew the sacrifices that we were already making in our everyday life. And I knew in that moment, man, God, I've been praying for you to bless our business, for you to help me figure this out, for you to either promote my husband or something in some way. And in that moment, I felt like if I had turned down this opportunity, that would be just kind of like spitting in God's face. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, because when I said yes to the opportunity, I didn't know what I was saying yes to, you guys. I didn't know about the culture of the Pentecost family. I didn't know the history of our company. I knew that we had this wrap thing that I still wasn't sure if it worked exactly. But this other girl told me that there was a cleanse and it was legit. And the person who was signing me up told me that I could quit if I wanted to. So I said yes. We didn't have $36, but I was willing to bet $99 on myself. At that time, our website was down, you guys. eSuite was being redone to update our videos. So there were no training videos. And like I said, I'm a red personality, so didn't ask a lot of questions. I didn't want her to know how bad we were struggling. I didn't want to ask what to do. So I just kind of winged it, and I'm not advising that for anyone, but I want to tell you guys how it worked to my advantage. Just like Nicole said, and how we all admitted, which, by the way, thank you, Jocelyn. I'm pretty sure like you're the one who trained me when I started. I was resourceful. I was willing to figure it out. I knew that Google was out there. I didn't know anything about social media marketing. I wasn't not willing to do a selfie prior to signing up for this. I was like, oh, those people who take photos of themselves, no, thank you. But you guys, I was committed to learn. See, when I enrolled, and I'm going to touch on some of the things that they touched on, because I want you to hit home for you and for you to walk away feeling certain of what we've shared, how it's going to be relevant to you in the next 90 days. But here's the thing for me. Some of you guys are already sacrificing. And I don't mean sacrificing just sleep. Like, you're already sacrificing because you can't take your kids to Disney World. You're already sacrificing because they can't have braces. You're already sacrificing because you can't go eat lunch with them. You're already sacrificing because you just put Christmas on a credit card. You are sacrificing already. You're doing the quote that Jocelyn shared, you know, you're playing before paying, or vice versa. You can pay now and play later. So when I said yes, I felt like I was at the rock bottom of, I was already sacrificing everything that could be sacrificed. I was already working overnight. I was already broke. I already had broken friendships and ties and any social life we had because I'd worked so much. Our marriage felt broken because we argued about money all the time. So I felt like, what is left to sacrifice? Like, there's nowhere to go but up from here. So if I've already sacrificed all of this, nothing will change if nothing changes. So I knew that I was going to continue on this repeated path of sacrifice, and not sacrifice in a way of your Netflix show, you guys. Not sacrifice in a way of, you know, getting up early or staying up later. Those sacrifices, they're almost laughable compared to thinking about, and some of you don't have kids, some of you do. I see you talking about Disney and the cat, but I want everyone in here for a minute just to think, like, if you don't have kids, if you want kids, imagine your life 10 years from now and you looking at your child and saying, I'm sorry, I can't afford to take you to Disney World. I'm sorry, you can't have that bike. I'm sorry, I can't go on the field trip. And so because that was so clear for me in the beginning, I knew exactly what I was working for. And that was my competitive advantage. I didn't have like a big fancy dream board. I thought those people were still weird. Like, you want me to manifest? Like, what? No. Like, I'm just here because I need an extra $200 a month, because if I can just sleep on Friday nights, that would be amazing. Like, that would be life-changing for our family. That's what I'm here for. And remember the part where I said we didn't have training? I didn't know what the steps to success was. I can remember I had been in the business, I think, almost 3 weeks. And my husband, he's a very green personality. Before he was retired, he was a financial analyst for Michelin North America. And he came home one day and he said, so I've been Googling, and so I have heard about this thing. It's called Steps to Success. And I think if you fill it out, like, we can make like $500. Do you know anything about this Steps to Success? And I was like, no, but like, okay, I'll try it. Like, I'll figure it out. And I saw on her income chart that executive could make an extra $200 a month. Remember, that was the goal. I wanted to not sleep, or I wanted to be able to sleep on Friday nights. So here's the good part. Hang with me here. I know I'm rambling with you. I knew that there was this thing called the steps to success. I knew that somehow you could go executive and make $200, but I didn't really know what either of those looked like. But what I did know was what my best looked like. And that's what I want you to take away from this tonight and for the next 90 days. I want you to alleviate any pressure of numbers and of charts and of volume and all of that noise, you guys, because the analyzation of that will paralyze you. And if someone had told me in my first month what a diamond chart looked like, I would not have gone diamond in 39 days. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. And I'm even a part of me is kind of thankful that I didn't know what the steps to success looked like for so long, because all I cared about was my best. And I didn't know anyone else to even know what a standard of normal was. No one told me it wasn't normal to enroll a loyal customer every day. I had grown up in retail. I had 10 years of retail experience. I worked in the store. Do you think any store would have survived if they couldn't sign or sell to a customer a day? No. So to me, in my mind, like the logic of that was, okay, I have to figure it out. I need to enroll a customer a day. Like that made sense to me. I didn't know that wasn't normal, you guys. So I set a standard for myself because I just wanted to do my best. So I kept doing my best and I kept doing my best and I kept doing my best while I was working 80 hours a week, which I didn't cancel a single bakery order for the first, like I didn't cancel any. I was booked out for 1.5 years and I worked them all the way up to triple diamond. I'll talk about that. But I showed up and I did my best. And I didn't even know until it was month end. And my enroller called me 3 days until the end of the month. And she said, hey, I don't know if you know this, but you're 3 distributors away from being charted for diamond. At that time, diamond had a $10,000 bonus. I didn't really know what that means. I didn't really know what that looked like, but I knew that $10,000 bonus was on the line and I signed up for 200. You better believe that I was going to do anything and everything in my power to make it happen. And the unlock for that, aside from just showing up and doing my best every day, is again, that ignorance on fire. I didn't know enough to believe that it was hard. I didn't know enough to believe that I even could fall short. I didn't know enough to know that that wasn't normal and that everybody didn't do that and that most people didn't sign 3 distributors in 3 days. So I just had this belief, and it was some YouTube video, I don't know, maybe one of Nicole's, said to go watch The Secret. Remember, I thought those people were nuts. But I watched it because I was willing to copy the right path. So I listened to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And as we watched that astronomical number, I was still $3,000 away and I had 3 days and 3 distributors. But we made it happen. And the only only unlock to that, like I didn't do anything that none of you aren't doing or that you don't know how to do. I 100% believe that it was because I believed it could happen. I believed that it could happen. And then I wasn't scared. I was ignorance on fire. So I think identifying your best and committing to show up for that every single day, knowing the sacrifice that you're going to make if you don't make it now, you need to know the difference. Like, yes, there will be short-term sacrifice, but sacrifice is inevitable. If you don't sacrifice now, what will you be sacrificing in the future? Because it is inevitable. You just get to choose. And then lastly, in regards to time, like I said, I didn't cancel any orders. I continued to work the following year. So that was in our first little 90-day run. The following year, we went to conference. I was paid. I had dropped rank in December. I lost rank for the first time. And I remember thinking oh my gosh, was I a one-hit wonder? What happened? Is life falling apart? Am I horrible? Am I not meant for this? We went to conference. It was the Dark Horse Conference. Who was there for that? Drop a 1 in the chat. I'm still going to get a Dark Horse tattoo one day. It's going to happen. If anybody wants to go with me at this conference, we'll make an event of it. But anyway, It was the dark horse one, and we went from being paid as double diamond to promoting. And you guys forgive me because we had promoted to triple in like a weird time frame after going double. But anyway, we went triple, and then in the following 90 days after a conference last year, we went presidential. The reason why all of that is so important is because every single one of these like dramatic events did happen in the 90-day season that we're in right now. And kind of like Nicole said, I'm not going to tell you that there's a boom season, because you can do it at any time if you decide that that's the time to do it. There is a lot of momentum that comes as a gift from the company during this season though. But you still have to show up with your own. You still have to show up with your own vision and your own intention and your own decision, and embrace, this is the best part, the suck. Because the sacrifice is inevitable. So embrace the suck of the sacrifice for the moment now. Sacrifice the good for the great, just like Jocelyn said, just like Nicole said. And I promise your life will change dramatically if you just show up with your best every day for 90 days.
Oh, dang, I got like chills all over. That was so good. I just think that is such a powerful question for all of us to ask ourselves tonight is, am I giving my best every single day? That's so powerful, you guys. And if you haven't been, if you haven't been giving your best, are you willing to start giving your best now to have everything that you want to accomplish in 2020? Are you willing to give your best from this point forward? So powerful. I have chills. Oh my gosh. Okay. So next person, we're going to bring on our last powerhouse lady, Chrissy. Are you there, Chrissy? I'm so pumped to hear your story.
I am here. I am so excited for this. And I feel like I have a lot of like not even living up, but like matching up to do with following these three girls, because I know like what this time of year can bring, but even just like listening to them just gets me like so excited and so pumped up for where we are right now and the time of our company and just everything that's going on right now. So Chrissy Mueller, I have been in for 8.5 years. So a lot has happened in like 8.5 years. So I am going to do my best to make it so short and sweet for you guys, because again, a lot has happened in that time. So anyway, I joined this business back in July of 2011. I was a loyal customer, loving the products. I was approached with the business and I said, no thanks. You're doing good. We're fine. I don't need that. When in reality, like we really, really needed that. I was a brand new hairstylist trying to build up my clientele in the salon. My husband was on my case too. I needed to get a second job. I either needed to get a different job. I needed to do something because what I was doing was not paying the bills. I was tired of pretending like everything was good from the outside looking in, when in reality, it was just taking a toll on our relationship. And I knew what an extra $500 a month could have done for us. I would have been able to eliminate some of the stack of bills, but I also could afford to get my nails done. So something within me, I finally said yes. And it's so funny because whenever I said yes, this was like way before network marketing really even hit social media. So I didn't know that I was joining a network marketing company. I didn't even know what network marketing was. I've been to a couple like in-home parties, but I'm like, what am I like even getting myself a part of? So I said yes. And even way back in like 2011, we still had the steps of success. And my goal was go get your 4 loyal customers, you get a shopping spree. And whenever my first week in the business, I decided to mass message everyone on my friends list about a 20-paragraph long message of how you can use this wrap and you can lose all these inches. You can sign up to join my team. You can make $10,000 a month. Like literally just threw up everything to everyone on my friends list. And then I got kicked out of Facebook. I was in Facebook jail within my first week of the business. So discouraged. Like, I'm like, I'm a failure. I'm not going to be able to be successful at this. I still see all these other people doing amazing things at the business. I actually signed up with my sister. She is my upline, and she climbed to double diamond within 4 months. So she did it pretty quickly. And so I'm like, okay, we need that money. I need to do this business. So I decided to give it a go again. My 30-day mark is quickly approaching. She's kind of on my case, like, you need to get these 4 loyal customers. That way we can get your shopping spree. I remember on my day 30, I called my dad and I'm like, I don't care what you buy. You just need to sign up to be a loyal customer with me. And so I got my shopping spree. I got my free products and I'm like, okay, this is easy. I don't need to do anything else. And so I would just kind of sit back and watch everybody else build the business. And 6 months would go by and I finally signed my first distributor. So it took me 6 months to sign my first distributor. She would quit shortly thereafter. 6 months would go by again, and then I would sign my second distributor. So here I was 1 year into the business, and I had signed a total of 2 distributors, never promoted, signed a customer here and there. So I had a very, very slow start. And my time frame within like that 1 year was I would put up a belly before and after picture on social media and just like sit back and be like, okay, everybody come to me, come knocking on my door. And it didn't work out that way. So I was just kind of barely tiptoeing into the business. So that was a year in. Around this time was whenever conference tickets were getting released. And my sister's like, you need to go to conference with us. And I'm like, no, like, we're not making any money here. We cannot go to conference. Something within me was like, okay, me and my husband, we need to go. So we went. Everything literally went on credit cards, hotel room, ticket. Everything went on credit card. So we're in this room, so like not an open heart, not an open mind, nothing. And from that moment forward, everything changed. Something within me was just like a spark had just been ignited that I'd never felt within the business. I had discovered like this new excitement and this new passion for not only like the products and the company, but I had found like a confidence within myself that I could actually do this business too. I am no different than anybody else that is climbing these ranks that I felt like they were going ambassador in like 0.9 seconds. And here I was 1.5 years in, never promoted. So that was in January of 2013. I would still kind of like, I knew I was in, I knew I wasn't ever going to quit the business again, but I was still kind of slowly moving with the business. So the following month, I finally promoted to executive. Following month after that, I promoted to Ruby. 2 months after that, I promoted to Diamond. And we were so excited because a year later, or a year prior, like we were barely just tiptoeing into the business, not getting anything in return from it. And then we were finally Diamond. And then all of my team quit. Every single person, when you looked at an old Diamond chart, there was a total of 24 distributors, and I had 1 distributor left still working the business. And I remember whenever I went to that conference, I'm like, I cannot quit this business, okay? I've got to give this my all. I'm going to work with this one person who's left on my chart, and we're going to bring in all this new blood, and we're going to be stronger than ever. And we did. And so I have like my timeline in front of me so I don't mess this up with you guys. So I reclaimed Diamond back, brand new team, stronger than ever. So January of 2015, crazy time. I went to that conference as a Diamond. My husband was executive. We would promote. So that was at the end of January. That February, I promoted to double. He promoted to Diamond. So I took his account from executive to Diamond and my account Diamond to double. And not only were the bonuses there, but the bonuses were actually doubled. So we earned $50,000 in bonuses in that month. And then 2-3 months after there, I promoted to triple and earned another $25,000 in bonuses. So just within like that 4-month time span, we earned $75,000 in bonuses. That following conference, you guys, once I went to that first conference, I'm like, I am never missing a conference again. So that following conference, I promoted my husband's account to double Diamond. Again, bonuses were doubled again. So we earned another $30,000 in bonuses. So just within like a 12-month time span, we earned $105,000 in bonuses that I never in a million years thought that I was even capable of earning anything like that. Like I could not see far beyond Ruby and me getting my nails done. Like how in the world did we just earn $105,000 in bonuses? You guys, every single bit of it came down to not quitting my business and putting in the action. I could want it all day long, but if I didn't have my action tied to that want, like we weren't going to achieve anything at all. So that was February 2016. I promoted his to double Diamond. And then I think that summer, I promoted my account to triple diamond. And you guys, triple diamond, insane, amazing income, and like $10,000 a month. Like, it's hard not to get comfortable there. But at the same time, we had a lot of life happen within that time span. Throughout just my 8-year journey, like, we had gotten married, my husband had lost his mom to cancer, we had bought a house, we had moved in, we had bought a new house, switched to that, and then we hit infertility. And I never in a million years thought that we were going to face infertility. And within me going all in with this business, because of the business, we were able to pay $100,000 worth of infertility treatments, 100% paid for in cash because of It Works. And that was over a 3-year span. But also tied to that, we were also able to pay $1,000 off in debt as well, just within that short amount of time. And you guys, if I would have quit because I didn't promote to diamond until 2 years in, or I didn't sign 2 distributors, or I only signed 2 distributors within my first year, like, we would not be where we are today. So I'm not going to lie, I got comfortable at triple diamond. Like, that was amazing income. And then I fell back to diamond at December 2018. I'm like, okay, things have got to change. Like, I am no longer comfortable where we're at. I can't sit here at diamond anymore. So December 2018, we were paid as diamond. January 2019, paid as double. February 2019, paid as double. Following month, we promoted to presidential diamond. So within like 90 days, we went from being paid diamond to being paid presidential diamond. And that still, to me, looking back, was so crazy, because I remember sitting at conference last year in 2019, and I'm like, okay, team, we're going to do presidential diamond by May. And we pulled off presidential diamond that following month after we had left conference, 2 months quicker than we even thought that we were going to be able to do. And you guys, every single bit of that is tied to me figuring out what we wanted our goals to be, rallying the team to get there. But when I say rallying the team, like, I don't want to rally the people that don't want to really do anything with the business. Like, I can't pull people to do this with me. And time again, I have learned that you are going to go so much quicker with the new blood within your business. So don't leave people behind, obviously, because I would have been left behind if my sister left me behind whenever I was just barely like walking within this business. But like, figure out where you want to go and take those people along with you. And if you guys are doing this together, like, you can be unstoppable. But think about you like climbing up a hill. We cannot pull everybody up the hill with us, but if we're going up the hill side by side, arm in arm, like, we can get up there so much quicker if we're doing it together. So rally your team, put in the action. And obviously, if you've learned anything from this story, like, conference is just like such a game changer. Like, 100%, I would not be here where I am today. I don't even want to think about where we would be had I not went to that very first conference. And I'm pretty sure I went kicking and screaming, but I went anyway. And it has just been such a game changer for us. What I kind of want to end off, besides like just getting to conference, just a couple of quick tips that work really well for me, my personality, and achieving my goals. So figure out like where you want to be 90 days from now, because we really are focusing on 90 days. Figure out where you want to be. And then I want you to double that. So whether that's a rank, that's an income, that's something off of your dream board, whatever it is, just double that. And then let's break it down between now and those 90 days. Okay, so like, where do we need to be 30 days from now? Then where do we need to be 60 days from now? And then if we fall short, like, we fall short. We doubled our goal anyway. And it's not the end of the world if we fall short. We still have the following month to do it. But we can't just throw in the towel and quit because we fell short there. So figure out where you want to be 90 days, establish those goals, rally your team, and just make it happen. But we can't sit back and like wish and hope and pray it's going to happen. We've got to put in the action and the work to make it happen. So that's what I got for you guys tonight.
Oh man, that was so good. And you know what, Chrissy, like, the chat was blowing up with your story. How many of you guys can relate to Chrissy's story, that you've gotten off to a slow start, or took you a while to sign your first customer, your first distributor, or whatever? Like, look at this. So many of you guys, with me and my story, like, I started in October, and the same thing. I let those fears, those doubts, like, what would people think of me, all of these things, like, prevent me from working my business. Like Lauren said, working it at my best. I let all of these things get in the way of that. And then look what can happen when you just release all of those things that are holding you back. You take all of the limits off of yourself and you just go for it. Like, all of you guys like deserve to see what your life would look like if you just went for it. So much can change in such a short period of time, you guys. So, man, I am so fired up from this Zoom. Thank you so much, ladies, for hopping on here and taking an hour out of your night. Like, I'm sure everybody's just fired up from this Zoom. It was incredible. The family call is starting right now, so we're going to hop over for that. But we have part number 5 next week, same time again, same Zoom code. So if you guys want to hop on that again, we have more ladies that are sharing their stories. But this was just awesome. And thank you guys again so much. Good night.